Hello, hello. Wobblerocket here. We're back in Haru, the Armada of the Astral Void. This game has just received an update to version 0.2.132. This is still an alpha demo, but the game is under heavy development and it's moving along at a pretty good pace. Let's take a look at the patch notes real quick. There's not a whole lot that has really changed this time. The biggest fixes are some changes to performance. There have been a couple of tweaks to some of the weapons. The EMP has had some changes to the way that it affects the number of enemies. The developer's not really sure if that's going to fix the EMP bug that we've been running into, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. Some tweaks to the Raygun as well. The biggest change in this patch is going to be the performance increases. In our last video, whenever we were having the Gatling gun and several other high projectile weapons, we were running into a big decrease in our frame rate. So hopefully that's been improved. Let's hop into the game and let's see what we can get into. I'm playing around with some new studio lighting, so if you like the way my face cam is looking compared to my other videos, be sure to leave me a comment and let me know. This update actually came out a few days ago, and I've been a little busy with some gig work that I picked up, so I haven't quite had as much time for recording as I would like. So I'm running a couple of days behind on getting this video out. There's the Seed of Evil. Been a couple days since I played Haru, so I'm having to get accustomed to the controls again. Alright, we got an upgrade to our fusion core. Here, get some of these rings. Worm of Doom. Let's see if we got any kind of weapon this time. Alright, there's our EMP. So, hopefully the update will keep the EMP weapon from failing like it has been. Got the Skull of Darkness. Okay. Take out this pack and then we'll run back up to our star base and get some upgrades to our EMP. Back everything we can into that. Throw some upgrades into tractor beam. Throw a point or two into ship hull and repair droid, and throw the rest into its cannon. So far, the performance upgrades seem like they're functioning pretty well. The EMP is usually one of the weapons that causes a little bit of frame rate loss, and I'm still holding pretty steady about 60 FPS right now. Take out this other Worm of Doom. Alright, we grabbed the missile launcher. That's good. We'll throw some points into it. Upgrade our EMP a little bit more. And throw some into our pulse cannon. I've been thinking about social media platforms lately. If you use Twitter, you're probably aware of the unexpected rebranding that Elon Musk is pushing at the moment, turning the site into x.com. I'm not really sure what I think about it. It seems silly to throw away the phenomenal branding of Twitter, but billionaire's gonna billionaire, I guess. I've been checking out a new site. Well, I say new, it's technically been around since 2009, but it's a social network called Game Jolt that is specifically designed for gamers and for content creators who create videos and live streams in the gaming space. I'll put a link to my Game Jolt profile in the description if you're interested in checking that out. It seems pretty neat so far. The user base is fairly small from what I can tell, but it has some features that I like, and you can collect different types of stickers and things like that and use those to support creators that you enjoy. I'm still looking at Threads. I'm surprised that Meta hasn't pushed a bigger update to Threads since it launched. The biggest problem that I have with Threads right now is it's just not... It doesn't have the features that's necessary for the site to really be viable at this time. You know, it doesn't have a good way of searching for topics. I don't think there's a direct message feature at all. It still doesn't have web access, so... Although I will say that Threads does seem to have pretty good points for discoverability as far as being able to find new and interesting people to follow. Although it's very unfocused right now. A lot of the people that you follow are totally random, and they may or may not have anything to say that's related to your interests. Whereas Twitter's algorithm is pretty good about making sure that you are getting attention from people that you're actually share some common interests with. Okay, that run was pretty good. We did get a little bit of FPS slowdown near the end just because we had so many projectiles on the screen, but overall much better than what it was the last time that we played. Let's see if we have any upgrades that we can pick up. I've just about gotten everything that I can. I've really been working on just maxing everything else out before I chase this last duplication mirror upgrade. It looks like the only thing that we could grab this time was the battery buffer, so we'll keep pushing on that. I'm not going to grab additional bays at this time because as far as I know, there is no functionality that actually affects them. All right, let's go for another run. From what I could tell, and I got busy talking, and so I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention, it looked like the EMP functioned throughout the entire run. I'm not totally sure on that. I'll be able to tell once I rewatch this video, but I should have been paying more attention to it and all that, but I got talking about social media and totally got distracted. I'm liking the new studio lights. I really feel that they kind of brighten up the colors in my camera. I was a little concerned that they might cause some issues with my photosensitive epilepsy. Daylight bulbs, particularly anything that hits the 4000K to 5000K light cycle has a tendency to cause some issues with my epilepsy. But these bulbs so far have not, and so it is often kind of just a trial and error thing to find out what kind of bulbs work. I've started a new series of shorts where I kind of highlight, in 60 seconds or less, I highlight a Minecraft mod. And that's been pretty popular so far. So I'm definitely going to be doing some more of those. They don't take a very long amount of time to produce. I want to focus more on kind of small overlooked mods rather than the big ones that everyone knows about. So I won't be covering anything in those spotlights like industrial craft or immersive engineering or Thaumcraft or anything like that that are super popular. But like one of the shorts that I did just highlights a tiny little mod that only adds a passive penguin mob that shows up in snowy biomes in Minecraft. So that'll be the kind of things that I'm covering in that series. Let's run up to our starbase real quick and grab a couple of upgrades. Go. There's our Seed of Evil. Came out. Alright, let's see what weapon we get. Hopefully we'll get one this time. Gatling gun, alright. So Gatling gun does seem like it still causes a little bit of slowdown. Even with no upgrades and still relatively early in the run, it's dropping me down to about 30 frames per second, 30 to 40. So the Gatling gun would probably definitely be a candidate for some optimization. Okay. Have a whole bunch of these rings, and then we'll run up and grab some upgrades. Ran right through those mines. Yeah, definitely the I feel like the mines need to be a bigger threat than they are. I feel like if you run through 2 or 3 mines, it should be essentially deadly. And right now, granted, I do have several upgrades to my hull and my armor through the permanent upgrade menu, but even then I feel like it should take a bigger chunk of my health and be a lot more of a threat than it is. So hopefully we'll see that for balancing purposes. Oh, it came out. Let's cannon upgrade. Good deal. So one of the changes that I had requested a couple of updates ago finally got implemented, and it is a change that makes it so that if you pause the game, you can actually see all of your current equipment, what level it's at, and it gives you a little description of what each of the systems does. This is something that whenever I was first starting the game was really important, because I would pick up a system upgrade and not really have any clue what it did until I went back to the starbase. Now that I've played the game enough, I've kind of memorized what each of the different systems does. So it's not quite as big of an issue for me, but as new systems are added to the game, particularly as we move closer to a full release, which is supposed to have, I think, 25 or 30 different weapons and systems, it'll definitely be useful to be able to check the pause menu and find out what that new system that you just picked up does. Alright, let's run back up to Starbase real quick, take out the Seed of Evil. Come on. There we go. Okay, we picked up the EMP, so let's just dump a whole bunch of points into it. Throw some more points into tractor beam, and just to dump the rest of our points, we'll throw them into repair droid and ship hull. Okay, let's see if our EMP is continuing to function throughout the rest of this run. We've got about a minute and 40 seconds left to go. Definitely seems like the changes that were made to the EMP generator have improved things as far as stability goes. So definitely the combination of Gatling gun and EMP is a frame rate killer. With both of those, I'm now dropping down to about 18 frames per second. So there's definitely some work to be done as far as optimization goes. Things are still quite a bit better than they were in the last patch. Because in that case, I was dropping down to almost 7 or 10 frames per second regularly, and I'm only having occasional dips down to sub 20. Okay, so EMP does seem to still be functioning the whole way through. Yeah, it's still affecting enemies, although I can't tell if it does, yeah, it is still dealing damage because enemies were dying there. So, all right, we're gonna hit one more run, and then I think we'll bring this episode to a close. There were some changes made to the Raygun, but we haven't picked the Raygun up this run, so we may not get to see those in this video. I think the only change that was made is just some tweaking to the number of projectiles, the number of beams that it gets. So I don't know that it'll perform a whole lot different than the last time that we saw the Raygun. But maybe we'll get lucky and we'll pick it up this run. I'm not sure if we will or not. Tractor beam amplifier. I've also been playing around with a new action roguelike that I picked up called Rice, repetitive indie combat experience. Rice is it kind of pokes fun at the action roguelike genre, but it's really a surprisingly deep game on its own and actually has some innovative features that I don't see a lot in the action roguelike genre. So I've recorded a couple of videos for that game. There's a playlist that you can check out as well. I'll definitely be playing some more of it in the future. Got the seed. All right, there's our Raygun. Cool. Try to grab a bunch of these rings and then we'll run up to the star base and see if we can pump our ray gun as far as it'll go. It does look like the ray gun gets 1 or 2 more beams than what it was getting in the last patch. Not sure if it's a bug or something to do with the lighting effect that happens with the ray gun, but it seems like whenever the ray gun is firing, your ship just kind of glows constantly. It's not really a problem, but it's noticeable as a difference from other weapons. Okay, multi-shot exploder. Always makes for a fun time. Okay. The description on the tractor beam burst has been improved as well. I can't remember exactly what it said in the last update, but it was quite a bit more vague, and it didn't really describe what the upgrade did. So that's much improved as well. Missile launcher. All right. Okay, let's go grab some upgrades. Yeah, see, I just ran right through that mine and it barely phased me. So I may come to regret this because I'm asking for mines to be a lot more dangerous, but when that's implemented, I'm gonna probably run right through them, not expecting it, and will die horribly. It just feels like the mine should give you a good reason to want to dodge them, and currently there's not really a good reason to dodge the mines. Worm of Doom. Okay, there's our Gatling gun again. One downside to the Raygun is if you get too close to the edge of the arena, because it has such phenomenal range, it'll start killing enemies that are within that sort of energy field that'll sap your health, and that can make it difficult to collect their rings. Not so much for us because we have the tractor beam amplifier and we have the tractor beam burst, but if you don't have those upgrades, it can make it so that you can't actually get to the rings that you need to collect them. The Raygun is just a really fun weapon right now. The multiple projectiles, the multiple beams firing off in every direction. The range is phenomenal, the damage is great. It's really, really fun. I love the way the attack speed kind of ramps up as well. It might end up needing some capping on the range, just because at high levels it does kind of get a little ridiculous. Like at this point I don't actually see any enemies on my screen because the Raygun destroys them before I can ever get to them. Alright, so this is the alpha patch 0.2.132 for Haru, the Armada of the Astral Void. Like I said, not a lot of content changes this time, but definitely some performance upgrades. There's still a little bit of room for optimization, I think, but definitely we're in a much better state than what the game was in the last update. Definitely check out this game. I'll put a link in the description to where you can download the alpha demo. Be sure to check out the developers. They're really active on Discord and Twitter and Instagram. They're a great team. They do some really good stuff. Check them out. My name is Wobblerocket. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you around.